Hi, my name is Steve Dunwoody with the Dell EMC Federal Modern Data Center team, and I'm going to demonstrate some of the common SAN administrative tasks on our brand new enterprise level PowerMax all-flash storage array. Before we begin, it is presumed that you already have your hosts and storage connected to either fabric switches for fiber channel connectivity or network switches for iSCSI connectivity using Dell EMC documented best practices. Now let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is open a compatible browser and enter the IP address of the Unisphere for PowerMax web UI. Once you enter the IP, hit enter, it will open up to the logon page, and we will log into Unisphere. And as you can see, Unisphere for PowerMax presents to us a list of all the systems, all different VMAX and PowerMax systems that we would like to manage from this single pane of glass. We're going to select here a PowerMax 8000 for our demonstration purposes. And it's this first one here. We're going to click on that, and it will then open the management or administrative interface for this particular array. And as you notice, the first things that we see across the top are a category of indicators indicating to us the system health, storage group compliance, capacity, replication. We're just going to kind of ignore the system status as it is for our demonstration purposes and press on to get to the functionality, the administrative functionality of the array. But as you can see, you can click on these different categories and get more detailed information regarding each. So on the left-hand side, we have a selection of menu items, and we want to look at the host first. And assuming that our hosts are fiber channel, physically fiber channel or iSCSI connected, and they're zoned properly, once we click on this host menu item, we should see a list of hosts that are already connected. But we're going to, for demonstration purposes, create our own host. Click on the create. Click on the create host. And let's give it a name. Initiator type, we're going to leave it default for fiber channel. And then we're going to select a couple of host initiators. Now, prior to this, we would have to go and create a list or spreadsheet of all of our hosts that we have in our data center and their associated worldwide names from the host bus adapters installed in those hosts, and then be able to correlate these worldwide names or worldwide numbers to those host names to then come in here and select them for each. So I'm going to select these two guys here, these two worldwide names, those are the initiators. And then from my drop-down menu here, we're going to say run now. So we're going to tell the system to run this host creation job right now. If you want to, you can also select or opt to have this job run at a later time. But for demonstration purposes, we're going to run it now. And our job has been ran. We're going to close this. And as you can see, we have here the host that we just created. And now we're going to double click it. And now we're going to provision storage to the host. Click this here. Storage group name. We're going to call it ESXi SG01 or ESXi SG, or let's say demo. demo SG. Storage resource pool, let's click on that. There's only one, and so we'll select that by default. Service level. So service levels are different levels or different priorities that we can assign to these devices depending on if you have a need to assign QoS or quality of service to a particular set of LUNs to work to a particular workload. Depending on that priority, you can use those service levels. And in this case, we're going to ask it to create 4 or 5 different LUNs, and we're going to make them 100 gigs each. Enable compression. In this case, we're going to leave that selected, and we're going to click next. So we have the FAs that we've assigned. Those are the storage ports that we've got assigned from the PowerMax 8000, and we're going to click next. Host limits, if we want to set host limits, we can do that here. We're going to leave these limits and everything, the default value selected. And from, again, this drop down, we're going to say run now. Let's click on the Show Task Details to see in what step of the process is Unisphere in. So the job has completed successfully. We'll close that window, and then we're going to go up to the storage groups here. We see none's been created there yet, so let's go back to hosts. And we should see our storage group right there. So now we open the storage group and we see the details of it. The FA ports, the service level that we've assigned, we left it default for Diamond. The array that it's assigned to, and we can click through the different tabs to ensure that it's all in compliance or whatever compliance that we've selected. Here are the devices or the LUNs that were created, the volumes that were created and assigned to the host. And we can click on the Performance tab to see what kind of performance we're getting from those devices. And right now, because there's no particular workload that we're running on the host, there is no performance values to see here. And let's go back to the dashboard and conclude this PowerMax demonstration of creating a host and provisioning storage to that host. Thank you for listening. This is Steve Dunwoody with Dell EMC Federal Modern Data Center Team.